Hello everyone, and welcome to our PLO night on Wednesday. My name is Kyyberi, this is PokerMania.com, the best place to learn poker totally free. I have opened two PLO50 tables so far. The one on the right, I went to table to play heads up with this, I don't know, guy from Netherlands. I didn't see him on many other tables, so I thought he might be sort of bad player, but he's sitting out. But let's see if this table fills up. This guy calls the flop and turn pairs the board, which is great card, so I think it's definitely plus EV to barrel the turn. He's going to fold so many hands that are actually beating me. I have ace high. And he calls. Now the thing is that, will he fold if he has a draw? Of course he will. Will he fold any king type of hand? So I'm making a smallish bet to make him fold any flush draw type of hands that are actually beating me. And he folds, and I 3-barrel him, which is always a nice way to win the pot. We have some delay on the stream for security reasons. So if you're going to comment one of the hands, and I do hope you're commenting, please say the table. When we have 4 tables, they are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. The upper row is 1 and 2, and the bottom is 3 and 4. State the table and what was my hand, because I'm going to open it up on the replayer so I can find the hand easily. On table 2, the guy from the big blind is making a mini 3-bet, which is, of course, we're going to call. We have a super crappy hand, but we can call the mini bet. We have position, and we flop the pretty much nuts. I'm not going to raise and make him fold aces or type of hand. I'm going to call and let him barrel. And I don't think he has that many deuces in his range, so I'm pretty much winning the hand. He has probably 2 outs to be a full house. So I'm going to wait for a while and make a small bet. He might call me if he picks up a flush draw, and he calls me, and river is a great card. It pairs the board, so it's more unlikely that I have a full house or trips. So I'm going to make a 1250 and hope he calls with his overpair, and he does. And he had pocket kings, and he actually had trip 8s, which made the call either easier. But trip 8s is pretty much as good as pocket aces or kings. Of course, trip aces beats my trip deuces, so if I have had only trip deuces, it would be pretty nasty river. And with the intro we had sound. I don't know why sometimes it doesn't work, but now it does. So let's enjoy the awesome intro. We have 4 tables, PLO50 now open. I thought about opening 1 table of PLO100, but I'm on the waiting list to those, and there aren't that many great. In pretty much, well, now one came up at the same time when I explained. Pretty much all of the PLO100 tables have huge waiting list. So I'm going to take that one table, and let's see how it turns out. I'm going to remove one of these PLO50 tables from the probably table number 3 is something that I'm not going to play a lot. There's the Richard Lyon regular who always wakes up at 9 PM finish time. He's on the waiting list on all tables, and we have played a lot with him, and he's a multi-tabling regular, but he's not super solid. He made some big bluffs and big plays despite of multi-tabling. But I'm putting that table to the outside, and let's see how it turns out. In the first hand we have aces, so Pretty nice start. Let's see what happens. The guy is 57 BB deep, so if he calls, he will have around SPR2, so I'm going to make a 3-bet. And he shoves, which is a great thing. Now we just hope this big stack comes along, so we started up with the flip against other aces. And we split the pot, which is sort of justice. It's always nasty to lose those 50-50 flips with the same hand. We have some reads. Yeah, he's 3-betting all kinds of hands out of position. Now, if I had any piece on the board, I would just shove, because his 3-betting range is Ace, King, Jack 7, King, King 7, 7, so he's 3-betting a lot. But as I totally missed the board, I'm not going to turn my hand into a total bluff. He seems to be pretty aggressive, but only 4 hands. Yes, Arnimetsa says the position is a real nice thing when you flop the full house. Out of position, we would have to check call, and if we check the turn, he checks back and we missed a lot of value, or if we check rest of flop, he might fold. So it's always a lot easier to play in position. Here we have a recreational player. I'm going to just call with the kings, and let's see what the flop is. And flop is sort of nice. We have the nut flush draw, and he's probably going to c-bet. I think my pocket kings is often good hand here, so I'm going to make the bet. I don't think this guy has ace, or if he has, and he Polish guy check raises this flop, so I think he's having ace or pocket nines all the time, so we are just happy to fold. He's never raising there without an ace or 9. It's so horrible spot to make a bluff like that. If you have any questions about poker, PLO, or anything, feel free to ask. We have the chat, it's online chat. And I can see your messages in real time. Of course, my reply is with the 1-minute delay. But I hope it doesn't matter. If you are not a member of Pokermania, you can access the chat. So that's one good reason to join the site, so you can chat with us. I'm sorry about the sun behind me. I hope it doesn't affect the stream that much. I'm going to put my nice and beautiful head in front of the sun. Double suited queens on table 4. I'm going to raise, and we flop the pretty much good enough so we can stack off, and he calls. He probably has 2 pairs, smaller flush, whatever. $16, pot is $8, so I'm going to bet the third and shove the river, and he just folds. So he probably has just an ace or even worse. On table 3, I open my pocket kings. And I flop the nut flush draw, which of course we're going to make a c-bet and see what happens. He's 80 and 0, so if he raises me, if he raises for pot, I'm just going to fold probably. But he makes a mean raise, so I get great odds for drawing my flush. And kaboom, we miss the flush, but we pick up the gut shot, so unless he pots, I have great odds for calling, and he bets 23 into 31. We have the flush draw, and I think that 3 is a pretty nutty card for us. So definitely call. We missed the river. We have the blockers to the nuts, but if he has pocket aces or jack, he's never folding the river, as he's a weaker player. So we just check and give the pot to him. And he has just an ace. Wow. We had even more outs. And on table 2 I check the flop back because I don't want to give him an option to check raise me. So I'm going to call on the turn when that happens. And on the river is pretty nasty. If he bets, I think I just have to fold. And he bets half a pot. It really looks like a value bet, so I'm giving a respect to him. If he's bluffing with this bet sizing, it's good bet sizing, so I'm just going to fold. On table 3, we had a multi-way pot. I flopped the top 2, so definitely I'm going to bet. I don't want to give a free turn card. And when someone raises, I'm just going to fold. He raises against 2 people, so the flop is ace-3-7 rainbow. He can't have a huge draw, and when I don't lead against 3 people and there's a cold call, he always has a set there, I think. This guy is our friend. Let's see who else we have on the tables. I suppose this shorty is our friend too, but let's see how his stats work out. It's only 9 hands so far. On table 1 we have aces, but no action. On table 4 we have a decent hand, and against the shorty, definitely open. And when we flop this big of a draw, we have so many outs, we are definitely getting it in. And he has a draw. We are sort of dominating him by a mile. And we was 69% favorite on the flop. We had pretty much the same wrap, and then we had the flush draw. So it was almost a free roll. On table 3 I'm going to call this open. We have a decent hand and we have position. And they all check. when he checks, he is probably going to check raise some of the time, or check call with pocket aces if he has those. Or he's just super tight player. But let's see what happens. And he just fold. He opens and the flop is as dry as it can be. King 7-3 rainbow. He should c-bet it all the time, but he didn't. So he is a pretty tight player. I'm going to make a note out of that. So I know when he's checking, he definitely has just pure check fold ranges. And when he's just check folding to that dry flop, it means that often if he's c-betting, he has a hand. Because if he doesn't bluff with his c-bet on that board, he probably doesn't bluff that much at all. On table 2 we have a decent hand, but we missed the flop, but the opponent has folded 83% to c-bet, so we can make a c-bet and expect him to fold often enough. And he shoves the turn, so we just give up. I'm going to open for full pot on table 4, because we don't have any history with the small blind and only 19 hands with the big blind. We can exploit them. We don't have to play balanced range yet. And on table 1 we have a hand. We are having decent starting hands. Too bad it haven't paid out yet. And we flopped the middle pair with some cut shot and backdoor equity, so let's just hope for a free turn and see if we improve. And on table 2 we don't have much history with this Polish guy, so I'm just going to make a move against him, and he bet raises me here, so I'm happy to fold. He's sitting on some other tables, so it's nice to create some dynamics. I strongly believe that when we have deeper dynamics, I'm the one that can benefit most out of it. And we have the top and bottom 2 pairs and blockers to straight. But this would be pretty nasty spot even if we have 5-6, because there's so many flush draws out there and higher straight draws. But I'm tempted to raise here, because I think I'm often ahead of this guy. But I'm just going to call. Let's see if we can dodge the club on the turn. And we sort of pick up the straight. I'm going to check, because Ray is going to shove all the time. Oh, he didn't. Wow. And here on... what do we have? We have the full house, so let's just pot it here. On table 1... the guy shoves him on the river. It's half a pot. He might have 10-9 queen type of hand. I think it's close to 50-50. We don't have much history, but it's a good bluff spot for him if he doesn't have anything. So I'm going to make a hero call. And he had 7-9. Well, he had the 9-10. But he bet only half a pot, so If I think he's capable of bluffing there, then I sort of have to call. Here, I earlier made a small raise against this guy, and he shoved me, so I'm going to raise him again. This time I have pretty much the nuts. So he just calls, and turn pairs the board. It sucks. And he donks. Wow. I don't really believe him that much. But if he bumps the river, I'll give him respect. Yeah. I really think that if he has a smaller flush or he's bluffing, he's going to check the river. But now when he bumps, he might have the... Well, if he has the flop set, it makes sense. If he has the straight flush, it makes sense. If he has a bluff, it doesn't make sense. Too bad he had a hand this time. Pink color means ace lover. So this guy loves aces. It either means he overplays them after 3-betting, or he makes really bad call downs with pocket aces. He just doesn't want to fold his pocket aces. And here we have top pair and a wrap. And he makes a small raise. I'm going to shove here, because he's raising a lot. And if he has a set, I have pretty decent equity. I have the backdoor flush draw. And if I call, I don't think I can fold on pairing turns, because he has so many bluffs in his range in my mind. So, and he didn't have anything, he's just bluffing me with the raise. And here this guy bets the river again. I'm going to make a hero call against him again. He has been pretty aggressive. When we both check the turn, he knows we don't have a straight, so he can bluff with pretty much any hand. And we have 2 pairs. Of course, he probably has 9th then, but I want to have a read on him. And he didn't have anything, so I was right this time. And on table 3, I'm going to make a call down with my bottom end straight. He made the almost min raise against me again, so I'm going to check call the river. And we know that this guy can bluff the rivers without nothing. So it might be that here he didn't have anything. So I'm making a note that on the table 1, he made a bluff out of position against 2 people, but he read the situation correctly. He knew that neither of us have a straight. So he has a lot of folding equity. Oh, he's shorty, so I'm going to bet 950. He has 750 behind. And he calls, and oh, he had a straight flush. Damn. Tough day. I thought we had him, but he rivered the straight flush. Well, nice thing we didn't lose any more. And here we are again battling with this same guy. And we turn a pretty nice card. So he folds. So we are creating a lot of dynamics with this fart guy. Because Pieru is fart in Finnish. On table 3 we have open ender and bottom pair. He's sort of regular. I really don't want him to check raise me. So I'm going to check back and see if I get a good card on the turn. But, well, he's so passive post bluff, I don't think he's bluffing. And when he checks, he probably doesn't have a hand. So I'm going to make a delayed c-bet here on the turn. I would make the c-bet with over pairs. And I really think that he's just going to fold a lot of his range. And if he calls, I think we often have at least 8 outs or 10 outs for the river. Straight outs and fours. I'm actually, with 100 pp stacks, it's often said that you can't be afraid of quads or straight flushes. So if you have 100 pp stacks and you have a nut flush, you get it in. And pretty much that's true. But there's one time when I have folded nut flush on the river. I think it was in iPoker Network, and there was this huge nith. Like, I had a solid read on him that he doesn't raise anything but pretty much the nuts or super nutty hands, like not full house. Of course, quads is the nuts often, but he's pretty much not raising if he doesn't have the nuts. So I had the nut flush and he called me on the turn, and then on the river he bet small. I raised him and he shoved me on the river. So I thought that I have the nut flush. He can't have, if he doesn't have a straight flush, he can't have anything better than the second nut flush, and he's never raising me with the second nut flush. So I folded and he showed me the straight flush. So it's always nice to make hero fold. On table 2 we flopped the nuts once again. Surprise. And what do we have on table 4? The ace lover raises. We have overpair, gut shot, and nut flush draw. So we might be drawing pretty much 2 outers, so we fold. And here on table 2 we value bet. When he calls, we hope he has a smaller flush and he pays us off. I think the bet sizing can be, we bet half a pot on the flop, so on the turn we can bet bigger, and on the river we can't shove. Now that's a mistake. We should have bet so much on the turn that we can shove the river. And if he has 8-10, so be it. And he snap calls, he probably has king high flush. Queen high flush, yeah. I don't like his snap call because he has the 10 of diamonds in his hand, so he's pretty much blocking. The best hand I can have is 8 high flush, and if I have 8 high flush, I often have the 5 in my hand. Otherwise it would be so uncoordinated hand that I shouldn't have it in my UTG opening range. So if I have 8 of diamonds and some other diamond in my opening range, I often have the 5 of diamonds because 6 and 7 and 9 is on the board and 10 is in his hand. So I think he didn't even think about what I could have. He thought that he has queen high flush, so he's making a call down. Of course, the one hand he beats is my ace of diamond blocker 3-barrel. And I don't know, we have 158 hands history. If he has seen me do 3-barrel with just an ace blocker, then his call down is fine. but the thing is that I bet the flop against 4 people, or at least 3 people, I can't remember. So I don't think I would make a 3-barrel bluff against 3 or 4 people with just the ace of diamonds. Now we are 150 BBs deep with this Polish guy. It's sort of good spot, but of course it increases the variance because he is capable of making big bluffs. So when we are sitting deep with him, we have to think a bit more when we are playing. We have to think ahead. If the pot is going to be big, do we want to play a big pot with him, and what do we do on some turns, some rivers? So we have to plan our hand ahead a lot more when we are deep with an aggressive player. Or player that can pull out some big bluffs. For those that are watching this video on YouTube and you're wondering what is going on, who is this handsome guy playing some poker, this is a totally free poker coaching from our site called pokermania.com. You can see it up here. Hope you have the high definition settings in your YouTube. This fart guy, I would just call him fart. He's checking this flop, so he might be messing with me. I'm going to check back and pot control, and I have the nuts blocker, but I don't think that we have sort of aggressive dynamics. And when you create some sort of dynamic with a player, it often becomes personal. And now when I have dynamics with him, I don't think he wants to fold against me. So if he has any flush, he's going to call turn, call river always. So I'm not going to make a double barrel bluff with my nut blocker. And he had top pair on the flop. I wonder if he would have check raised or check called, or what was his plan. Interesting. Yeah, he's a neat, but as Silton Stevens says, when a neat like that calls me down, he is afraid of not, or he's calling for value against bluffs. But even if someone's pre-flop stats are this tight, it often means that they aren't actually thinking about poker that deep, because if he would have a huge or awesome thinking process, his stats wouldn't be this tight. He would have loser stats. I think he's a player that has sort of pre-flop range that he likes, and post-flop he is playing sort of ABC poker in his mind. Here on table 3, I 3-bet and flop is sort of dry. I have pretty much nothing in my hand, so there's no point of checking back. My hand won't improve. So I'm going to make a c-bet, and this Slovenian guy raises me. He definitely has something. He's never raising with total air, so then we just fold. On table 4, Romanian guy 3-bet us, and we check back the flop with our middle pair. We pick up the 2 pairs on the turn. If he has a straight, oh, there's no straight possibility, so we have pretty much the nuts. Sorry. So we're making value bet, and he just folds, which is strange. Sometimes people play so passive, like they 3-bet out of position, but they don't attack any board. If they miss the flop, they are just happy to check fold. I don't know if they realize that in the long run he's going to burn a lot of money with those checks folds. So the one time he has a hand and he gets that 60-40 flip, he is not going to win enough. Here on table 3, the Switzerland guy has opened all his small blinds against me, but I have had such a crappy hand, so I hadn't had an opportunity to fight back. Now I got a decent hand, I'm going to 3-bet him, and let's see what happens. He goes and we miss the flop, but I'm not sure if he's going to raise me if he doesn't have anything. But he does. He might have all type of hands. We have nothing, so we have to fold again. It kind of sucks. There's 2 3-bets, and we are bet folding the flop, so we have burned like 50 BBs out of those 2 hands. It kind of sucks that we missed the flops, and someone else has hidden. But it happens. But when we finally hit our hand, we get it all back. Here we have 2 pairs and a flush draw. We make a c-bet and we win the pot. And here on table 3, we once again we missed the flop, but we hit the king. We have some backdoor equity, so I'm going to check back and see if we pick up any card over 9 that gives us a lot of equity. And here on table 1, I don't see any point of betting the river. And he had a king in his hand. On the outside table, we get our money in with overpair and a cut shot against pair and cut shot. We were 59% favorite on the flop, and we won the pot. Yay. At table 3, it's PLO50 table, and this 20 IMI guy, he's running all over us. When he's small blind, he's picking up our big blinds, and every time we make a 3-bet out of him, he raises us on the flop and wins the pot, and it kind of sucks. So I just hope that we can hit our hand, because he's probably thinking that he can just run over us, raising us, and we just have to fold. We are super nitties. Now we hit top pair and a flush draw, and we give something back. On table 4, I barrel the turn because we have open-ender and the cut shot, and then I'm bluffing the river and make him fold something. And on table 3, I'm just potting it against him. I have a hand that I'm willing to go all in, and we hit the flush. When he checks, I'm going to just check back here. And he had a jack high flush, which it really sucks, because he had 3 spades in his hand. Of course, he had the wrap on the turn, but it's just not going on our way. And now we have lost pretty much $130 on this PLO50 table, which means that as our sort of bankroll or shot limit to PLO50 was $130, I think we are going to leave the table and minimize our losses. He's just getting lucky against us today. And on table 2 we have a gut shot, and he bet so small. I'm going to call, and I'm going to bluff the river. I have only a pair of tens, but I can represent a lot of flushes. I might have the straight that I'm value betting and make him fold any better pair. So I'm going to find some good PLO50 tables. Let's see if we have any. There's one. Oh, pocket show he woke up. We have all the same regulars on every coaching. They all wake up at 9 or 9:30. Christ. There's this Finnish guy, but other than that, the table is pretty bad, so I'm sitting out. Oops, I should have check raised here on table 1. I remembered that I opened pre-flop, so it's sort of my bad, but we can play it this way. And on table 4 I'm barreling the turn because it pairs the board. And he folds, which is a great thing. We have the blockers to the straight, we have backdoor flush draw, we have a gut shot, and he's 21 and 4. So I think we definitely can bluff him if queen comes on the turn, or 9. Well, 9 is not a good card. And he checks, so not really sure what to think out of it. On table 4 we check back the flop, we have the gut shot and top pair, and pocket show is a good regular. So now it's up to me if I want to raise him, or if I raise him he's just going to fold. So I'm taking a risk, I'm calling and hope the board doesn't hit the club. And the river is a blank, which is a great thing. Now I give him an opportunity to bluff me on the river, because he thinks I never has a queen jack. So when I make a small raise, he might come over me if he has blockers to the straight, which would be awesome. Because my line, now he's thinking it doesn't make sense. If I had a straight on the turn, queen jack, why would I just call? So it's sort of getting tricky with him, and hope he does something stupid. And as we can see, he's thinking a lot, which means that he's probably a bit confused, like, what the heck. And every time you can make a player think that much, it's a good thing. But he just folds. I suppose he doesn't have anything he thought about raising me, as he thinks that I could never have queen jack, so I have to fold my smaller flush and bluffs. And on table 2, when the board pairs, it's such a good card to barrel. And Pocket Joey comes to this table too. Damn it, leave me alone. And I'm putting myself into some PLO50 tables waiting list. We flopped the quads on table 3. The plan was to just open, and I think I had a lot of folding equity against him on many boards. But of course, when we flop the quads, we can happily bet for value and hope he makes some calls with the draws, and he raises us. Now we know that the only hand he can get it in here is pocket 7s, and if he has pocket 7s, it doesn't matter what we do, so there's no point of raising here. We just call. If he has jack 10 of hearts, it would suck, but let's see what happens. And he bought, so I'm just going to shove. He's committed here, and let's see what he has. And he has jack 10, but he's having 5-10 of hearts. See, he almost had a straight flush. It would be insane if he had a straight flush against us, because we had that earlier today. Like, how many straight flush can you see in one day? On table 2, I'm calling the min bet with hands that have some nut value, but now Dorosev 3 bets. I'm just going to fold. There's not that much value. And on table 1, Shrek opens, he makes a c-bet. I think he's going to make the c-bet with pretty much his whole range. So I'm going to call and evaluate turn. When the turn pairs the board, I'm going to call when he makes a c-bet. He checks, so I'm going to bet. He probably doesn't have a full house. The only hand I'm afraid is pocket aces here. But he had a, wow, he had a full house on the turn, and he just check called and check river. Now this shows you that he had position, and he has, when I don't raise the flop, he has the nuts on the turn. Which means that when he checks the turn, he creates a situation that he can get only one street of value on turn and river. There's no way he's getting bet out of me on the turn and river when he checks the turn. He should have bet the turn, because I would have called my pocket kings, and if the river is a blank, I would have called a small bet again. So that's the downside of position. You have to give up one street of value so often. But I'm kind of happy I didn't lose that much. Let's see what we have. I opened 1 PLO50 tables in case one of our tables turns bad. Table 2 isn't that great. There's a shorty that is good player to have on the table, but then there's just regulars. This guy has VPIP 70. He's our friend. So nitty tables. So nitty. But we have some nice stacks on PLO50, so once again PLO100 goes down and PLO50 goes up. But out of the hands that we played at PLO50, I think the 3-bets are fine, and this time we just didn't hit the board, and the opponents did. When I see this Signal Steven comment that the need on table 2, I don't remember if it was the same need, but he made a call down with the queen high flush when the only hand he can ever beat is the blocker bluff. There are a lot of players that play PLO, they are multi-tabling or they are playing whatever number of tables, but they have these standard lines. Like he might have a standard line that with queen high flush he makes a call down, and he doesn't even think about the situation, should he do something different. And that's why I personally hate all kinds of standard lines. Like when you have a hand and you post it to the forums and what do I do in this specific situation against this opponent, and people just say that, oh, just get it in, so standard. It's standard to get it in with that type of hand. Well, you should always think about the situation. The more you know about your opponents, the more you can adjust. And against some opponents you even fold your third nuts, and against some opponents you just shove them. Here on the outside table we made an isolation 3-bet, but shorty cold calls are 3-bet, which sucks. So this flop just hits their ranges so hard that I'm going to just check and pretty much give up unless I hit some kind of backdoor flush or something else. But I don't hit anything, so end of the story. It didn't turn out to be an interesting hand after all. And the other one had the shorty cold called my 3-bet with 9, 9, 10, 8, so he had a flop set. Chat has been pretty quiet today. At least we have around 20 viewers, and I suppose some of them are following the chat. So please say hi in the chat. If you don't want to talk about poker, you can talk about football. And about the World Cup. Is there anything to talk about, or have they been just so boring tournament? We open up decent hand on table 2 and let's see what happens. We flop the top pair with some overcards and we have to protect our hand, so I'm happy to bet fold. And again we have position, so if he calls, it's so hard for him to get value even if he hits the turn. And now we just wait. How has the summer been? Here in Finland it has been super rainy. There has been around 3 or 4 sunny days in the summer in June and July. And all of those days have been the game days for my football team. And we are having our next game on the next Sunday. And when I look at the weather forecast, next Sunday is a sunny day. So you can just watch our game days and see that whenever we have a game, it's going to be sunny. I really thought about, here's a hand from the outside table. I really thought he dunked me on the flop. I called, he bet small on the turn, I called on the river, he checked. I really thought about making a bluff on the river, but it's so hard to represent the straight. I think I would have value bet my straight, but if he has any piece of the board, he's going to call. But he had only 4 and he beat my ace high, so he would have folded to my bet. So it's kind of bad that, or it's not bad, but it's sucks that I just checked the river. I could have won the pot. On table 3, this starfish, he's so tight. And he bets. I really think he might have better hand. If I had ace 10 or ace 9, I probably call here, but with just the top pair, I'm just going to fold. And on table 1 we have a lottery going on. We 3-bet and starfish makes a cold 4-bet, so we call and see if we hit the flop. We do, and I want to maximize our folding equity. If he has pair aces, he might fold it someday. But he calls and oh, he's dominating us, which sucks, and we lose both of the pots. That kind of sucks. We had only 32 on the flop because he had the queen in his hand and he blocked and dominated our straight draws so much. Against pair aces we would have been flipping. And starfish dunks this flop. I have an overpair and I have a flush draw, so unless something funny happens, I'm going to call this dunk. I'm going to call at least on the flop and see what happens on the turn. We'll get the flush on the turn, but it pairs the board. So we are not going to put a lot of money to the pot unless the river is a queen. And it isn't. Would be nice if it would have been. And we still can see if our flush is good enough. And it is. He made a donk bet with open ender. That's so bad. He's multi-tabling. Yeah, he's playing 7 tables of PLO50. and he in a multi-way pot he donks bet this flop with idiot end, which means it's a bottom end open ender. That is so bad donk bet that wow. Well, his nickname is a fish, so it kind of makes sense. So I'm making a note that he is capable of having such a weak donk bet range. It's often good to make notes. I know that a lot of players are quite lazy to make notes. Out of the people I have coached, I think that 90% doesn't make notes. Some of them use the color coding and sort of quick notes, but most of them don't make handwritten notes. And making notes means making money. And now he 3-bets again. I think he has aces a lot of time. But if these two calls, we have great odds for calling. Here on table 3 we flop the bottom end wrap and not flush draw. So we are getting it in against Richard. Let's see if he gives us action. As Shrek calls his calling station, I think we can sort of call for set value. We have 7-8, which can hit the straight. We have 2 flush draws. Of course, sometimes the flush draws are dominated, but I think it's worth of calling. And we hit the nuts and we hit the flush draw. So it's easy to play when you hit the nuts, and let's hope the starfish c-bets and we can shove. He should c-bet, it's such a dry board. And I'm going to shove here. And on table 3 I'm bluffing Richard. I have only ace high, and I can represent king 7, 7, 5 or all the sets pretty nicely here. He can make a hero call if he wants. And he does, he has pocket aces, which is, I think, calling down with pocket aces to board of king 7, 5 is super bad. It's so bad calling down. But I'm going to make a note that he's adjusting against me. And on table 1 we didn't get any action. One other option is to call the flop, but there's going to be so many killer cards on the turn. Like any card from 3, 5, 6 might kill the action. Any diamond kills the action if they have some sort of weak made hand. And he bets he might have something, but when Shrek calls he definitely has some equity, so he might gamble with the flush draw. But they didn't give any action, which kinda sucks. Oh, did Richard have a straight? No, it was the earlier table. Yeah, here. He check calls the flop. There's only going to be 2 good turn cards for him. 2 aces, and against any other turn he's kinda screwed. Now queen comes and he still makes a call when I bet really big. So he hopes that I don't barrel the river, or the river is black. That he makes over 50 BB call down with just sort of bad bluff catcher. So I'm not convinced that he is actually a good player. Because even if he puts me on a draw on the flop, it means that pretty much 90% of the time one of the draws from the flop completes by the river. So now we know that when we have a hand, we can pretty much value bet him, because his calling range is so bad. And table 1 we hit the straight on the river, so we bet, and Shrek calls. He makes an insta call with, oh, he had a straight on the turn, but he checks. Nice. Pistol flip bets. I'm going to make a small raise. We risk $4 to win over $5, so the price is pretty great. And we don't have much equity, so there's no point of calling or doing anything else. And he just happily folds and we pick up the pot. And here the same guy calls on the flop. I'm going to make a small blocker bet on the river. He might call me with the set, and he raises, so he probably has backdoor flush draw there. I hope our chat isn't broken. No one has said anything in the past 20 minutes or so. Are you even there? Now we just wait once more. On table 4 we have a hand and we misclick and min raise. Great. It would be decent if there's wide 3-betters behind us, but there isn't. So we'll go to flop. We have the cut shot and overpair, but it's not the flop that I want to get my money in. So I'm just going to fold on the flop. If I call, I have 3 outs to the turn, couple of kings that I can continue with, but all the other cards just creates a problem on the turn. So I don't want to even put myself into that problem spot, so I'm folding on the flop. Now Richard has played 1,000 hands and his all-in equity is minus $47, which means that as his win rate is 12 BPs per 100 hand, he is running a lot over EV. I'm going to give a green color to this guy. He's VPIP 42. Spread is listening. He doesn't play PLO. It doesn't matter. I can talk about anything. What do you want to hear? Now there's sort of quiet time at the tables, not a hand at any table. So it would be a great spot to talk about something interesting. have a spot on the outside table. I'm picking it up in here. We call a small bet pre-flop and we flop the gut shot and top set. So I think we are making a small raise that we have done with the bluffs. Of course we can call, but I like to make the bluffs even with my... I mean, I'm not going to bluff with the set here, but I make the same raises when I have a made hand, and now he dunks half a pot. This really looks like he has a set, because often when people bet half a pot, they don't know what to do, so they bet half a pot. So I have the open ender, and he's aggressive. I'm going to shove it. If he has the 5-3, I have a ton of equity against him even that way. Of course, the other option is to call and see what happens on the turn, but if he has smaller set, I like to get the money in here. And he has the smaller set, and we win the pot. So, once again, we made the absolute right read on the situation, which feels pretty good. And the thing is that if we call on the turn and he checks the river, we can make a big value bet on the river. So on the river we have to check back or make a small value bet, and he probably just folds. So this time we made the absolute right decision and won over 100 BPs. And on table 3, the fish player 3 bets, and on the turn he bets. I'm going to raise him, because earlier he folded to my raise pretty instantly, and I don't think he's going to call with pocket aces here. But he does, and the river is an ace. Oh damn. He called me with pair aces. I really thought that he's going to fold them on the turn, but he didn't understand that I might check back with any trips. So he wasn't good enough to fold on the turn. It's kind of situation that we make the right decision based on what we believe or what we estimate, but he didn't do what we wanted him to do. So even if I knew what he had in his hand, I would have raised him. Of course now when he doesn't like to fold aces. And now he's shoving. I'm interested to see what he has here. And he has pretty bad hand. Wow. So he bluff raised. And now he sits out, which sucks. He would have been a nice player to have on the table. This guy looks like a green player. And Golden Star is PPIP only 33, but pre-flop raise is 4, so he's quite happy to just call. And on table 3, I'm not going to, wow, he had aces, but he doesn't even see bet them or do anything. And table 4, we flop the nuts, don't get any action. Yeah, as Kauri says, we had a downswing in the beginning and upswing in the end. Happened once again, but let's see. Last week, I think it was in Finnish coaching, we were having a huge session, but then in the end, we played back-to-back hands at PLO50 and lost over $200 instantly. It happens. He's sitting out, so I'm opening this crappy rundown. Before we have the jack and some gut shots, and on the river king comes, I'm going to check and see if we can see the river, but guy bets big, so we are just happy to fold our hand. And on table 3, he calls the flops. He probably has ace or queen. So we have the pair and cut shot. So we check back the turn and see if we improve on the river. And we do 7, 10, 8, 9 queen. We don't improve, so we give him the one. On table 2, we open pair kings and we hit the top set. Yay. No action. Damn. Where have all the action gone? I think there's a song with that name. And again, the calling station, we have the pair and open ender and some backdoors. So Golden Star is chatting. Well, he's 32 and 5, so he's sort of fish. The thing is that, well, he is. Why is this 3-bet stat? The HUD is showing some funny stats. The number is right, but the explanation here is, well, now it's a C-bet. C-bet is here, so it should be here. Somehow the explanation, when I put my mouse over the number, it says something totally different. We lost to the fourth guy on the outside table. He 3-bet us. We called the flop goes check, so he had trip 7s, but he didn't c-bet. On the turn, he bets half a pot. We call, and the river he checks. We check, so he 3-bets this chunk, flops trips, and only gets 1 street of value, half a pot of value. So I'm quite happy how it turned out. I'm going to give him the green color. He's a friend. And I don't mind, he's here on the table. I don't mind him being in position to me, because when he's in position, it gives him a lot of opportunities to make bluffs. So every time when you're slow playing your hand, like you're trapping, it's easier to do out of position. That's the only thing that out of position is better. You can trap aggressive players more easily out of position. Of course, in position you probably get even more value, because they are trying to check raise you and bluff raise you all the time. Now there's so many regulars on table 3, but as long as there's green color, I think I'm going to play it there. I'm going to see if there are any better tables. I'm going to sit in some of those if I can find. Not much of good tables, so let's continue with this one. And middle pair and cut shot, of course, were c-betting against the green players. Leroy is VPIP64, so I'm going to open that table and I'm going to close one of the worst ones. We have number 4, nitty, so much need, so we're going to close number 4. And on table 3 we just 3-bet. Oh, where do we have the double pair? Table 1. Ace high, ace 10, half a pot c-bet, and we win the pot pretty much all the time. On table 4 we have a hand. I'm going to call and hope these guys come along. It's such a strong hand. And the flop is quite decent. We have the cut shot, overpair, flush draw, and Voyonier is probably going to make a c-bet, and we don't have to raise and scare him from the pot. And pistol guy raises. We're going to get it in against him. He might have the full house, but against anything else we have enough equity. And he has trips, and now he has quads. But we had 43 on the flop, so it's okay. I have a feeling that so far we have been running below EV, but I'm not sure. Let's see what does that say after the session. Super strange. Here's a hand against Russian guy from the outside table, and we open pre-flop with total trash just to steal the blinds. He goes flop is ace for 6. We have the cut shot, and it's an ace high, so it's a good spot to make a c-bet. He calls. Turn pairs the board, so when the ace comes, it's sort of more unlikely that he has an ace in his hand. He might have some sort of 6xxx type of hands or something else. Weak made hands, weak draws. So I made a c-bet on the turn to make him fold his weak hands. But he closed the turn, and I believe that he probably has ace in his hand a lot of times. Or he has some sort of straight draw. And river is a 5, and he checks, and I made a small value bet. In the pot of 11 I made value bet of $6. Where did I lose my one table? Here. So I really think that he shouldn't have a hand that folds the river unless it's some sort of 5-7 type of hand. But he instantly folded the river. I accidentally hit my cut shot, so I made a value bet against ace, but he didn't have it. And on the other outside table, it's an interesting hand, or sort of interesting. We open this low rundown just because we are in position, and we get a call, and we flop bottom pair and flush draw. Now this is a spot that we might check back against some better players. He's VPIP60 guy, so he's sort of sort of calling station fold 75% to c-bet, so he's not making any stupid call downs often. So I decided to c-bet this time, and if he raises, I can happily fold. At the same time on table 2 we flopped the nuts. Surprise. So I make a bet on the flop, he calls turn, I pick up an open-ender, so I'm making a pot size bet. Oh, we get action on table 2, great. So now we just bet, and he folds, damn. So we bet big, and he calls, but on the river, king comes on the board. So if he has any kind of draw or weak hand, like jack or queens, queen 10, he's beating us, but I can make a little over half a pot bet that has a lot of folding equity. Wow. An Austria regular made a call down against me with top 2. I wonder what he would have done on the river. So here, definitely don't be scared that he calls the turn. Bet the river. There's a lot of folding equity, and he folds. Probably a better hand. Here on one of the tables, he opens. I defend, and he checks the flop. I bet the flop. I bet the turn, which he calls the turn. If I have an overpair, his hand is drawing four outer. And I thought about betting the river, because I really think that often he has some sort of overpair or weak hand like he did now. And if I had bet bigger on the river, it would be interesting to see what he does. But I make a note that he's, instead of c-bet, he makes a call down. And here on table 4, I'm just check raising. If he has a set of 9s, I want to get the money in, and if he calls, then he probably has a draw, and he folds. So no one had anything, so there's no way we can get value. When I make a note against the guy that made a call down with top 2, the benefit is that I know that he makes call downs. That way I'm not going to bluff his in those spots. So when he is checking instead of c-betting, he has often hand that he check calls. So instead of trying to bluff him, I'm going to turn my range. When he checks, I'm going to bet with hands that I'm beating his 2-pair type of hands, or I have a ton of equity. Sensei is 3-betting. Well, we have jack 10-9, so we are going to call, and we flop top pair and open-ender. A lot of folding. If he has aces with diamonds, the money goes in. If he has pair aces, he might, or he actually should even, he should think about folding. And if he has some kind of draw, we are often even ahead of him. As you can see, when he is asking that, do our bet with our long rundown need to be even that big? Well, I think that if you're betting under half a pot on the river, people are just, they might even call out of curiosity, or how do you pronounce it? Curiosity. Hard word. Here against the starfish, I'm c-betting the flop, I'm betting the turn, and I'm betting the river. He folds, wow. I imagine what is his range that he calls the flop, calls the turn, and folds the river. Unless he was voting me, I don't know. Well, nice that he folded. And on table 4, Senjay is 3-betting us again. He might be tilting, he might be doing something stupid, but we have such a great hand that we call and see the flop. If we hit the flop, we win a nice spot. And we... yuck. Well, our position is great. If now he donks, he probably has... even if our flush draw is alive, our equity is close to 30%, 40%. So, in a best case scenario, we have some plus EV if we call, but this button might have aces with spades, so we just have to fold. If this was the only guy that gets the money in, I would have called, or get the money in with the 3-better, or I mean 4-better. But now, when this guy dunks for full pot, he probably has a great hand, and he did. Of course, our flush draw would have been alive, but we can't know. Now, this guy had aces. Did he limp his aces? What the hell is going on? Oh yes, the really smart limp with aces. Wow, let's make a note out of that. So I'm sort of want to give him the green color because he's such a bad player, but I'm going to give him the green color. The way he played when the board is deuce 10 and turn was 10, he called flop call turn and folded on the blank river. No matter what his hand was, he played it sort of bad. Table 3, we have middle pair, cut shot and flush draw, and gold star dunks. We have double cut shot, so we can call and we can bump the river. And he might, if he has 2 pairs or better, he's going to call and he folds. So, not sure what he had, but probably nothing strong. I really thought that he has a... And now, of course, well, the 9 hits all the straights, but he might think that we have a missed flush draw. Maybe he had 2 pairs or he missed his hand. Who knows? Clock is getting close to 11 finish time, so I think we are going to play around 10 minutes or so. And then we close the session and see where we ended. We have some nice stacks again at the tables, but we did lose around $150 to PLO50, which sucks. On table 2, we have top pair, bottom and cut shot and flush draw, but we can't stand a check raise. So I'm going to check back and hit 2 pairs on the turn. This might turn out to be an interesting hand if someone bets. If they all check, I'm going to value bet the turn, because when the flop is checked, if someone has a straight here, he has to bet it. And then we wait and see what happens. And they all fold. It's a decent outcome. Here we have two limpers and a raise. I have pocket queens. I'm going to set mine because these limpers probably call and we have a nice multi-way pot with a lot of nut value. And we miss the flop. So the only way to win the pot is to bet. Probably just check fold in the turn, because the 5 completes the flush and the straight and all kinds of hands. And he had a straight on the turn. I don't think he would have folded. On the outside table I tried to raise as a bluff with my nut flush blocker, but I got 2 calls. The other one had king high flush and the other one had 9 high flush, so they are both kind of, well, king high flush you have to call, but when someone cold calls my raise into monotone board, there's no point of continuing with the bluff. He's just not folding. There's an imper, he's a friend. Kaboom. And top pair, cut shot and a flush draw. When it's an imp spot, I'm just going to donk. And river sucks. Yes. Ace in his hand often, but I don't think he's going to bluff the river that often. And he pots the river. Three out of 3. It would be quite sick hero call with pocket 10s, but I don't think he's potting with any 10 ace type of hand, so he is representing 5-3, but he often has some sort of draw. I'm really tempted to call here. And he didn't have anything, so I won the hand. Made the right decision based on his bet sizing. Wobster isn't folding a lot. If he raises me, I'm actually going to call. Because he folds only 29%. So he's going to bluff me often there. Of course, now he check raises me on the river. This really much looks like a King of Spade bluff. I don't see he's playing his nut flush this way. But on the other hand, we are 200 pp's deep. I'm not going to risk 200 pp's with 2 pairs. if we were 100 pp's deep, I'm actually thinking about I would shove here, or it would be a call. He has a blocker bluff really often here. And we are going to hack the variance on table 1. We are 200 pp's deep and we have double suited aces. If the Shrek has just aces, we are small favorites over him. And he just called. Now that's strange. Is he capable of calling with aces and trying to outplay us on the flop? His 3-betting range has jacks. Man, have to fold. If he has aces, he played them pretty well. And we almost won the pot on table 4. This guy had 23% on the flop and he hit runner straight. Bad ending to a fine session. This hand now bothers me because he knows we have aces. And he don't bet small. If he had a jack, he wouldn't don't bet. So I think that he often has aces and he just outplayed us. He wouldn't make this don't bet with a jack. So now thinking backwards, maybe I should have raised here and put the pressure back to him and make him fold his aces. Yeah. Funny hand. On table 4, Sensei has 3-bet a lot and we have ace blocker, so I'm going to shove my top 2, and if he has pocket aces, then it kinda sucks. And he probably has. No, he has a ace and 8 and wrap, and we actually won a nice pot out of him. Oh, I folded a rundown. Missed it. And the flop would have been awesome. Damn. I'm sure the turn is 5 of diamonds. And this guy that is 200 pp's deep has the nut flush. And our misclick cost us sick amount of money. I think the hand where he 3-bet, we 4-bet, he might have ace. We don't know anything about his 3-betting range. He hasn't 3-bet much. It shows you how the game changes when you are 200 pp's deep. With 100 pp stacks, it would have been easy hand with 4-bet and shove any flop. And there's no point of discussing the hand. But now when we are 200 pp's hand, if he had aces, that's really great way to play them. If he has something like ace 7-5 rainbow, my cold 4-bet range is pretty much made up with aces. So if he shoves pre-flop, he's either flipping or he's slightly behind. So the correct way for him to play aces is to call. I thought that his VPIP around 80, that he would be bad enough player to shove bad aces pre-flop. But he's not. Or he had some sort of other type of hand. But it shows you that when you are 200 pp's deep, the game changes a lot. 200 pp PLO and 100 pp PLO are totally different games. And when you play 300 pp deep, it gets even crazier. I'm going to 3-bet the $40 guy. Let's see if we can get the money in. And we can. Let's see what we have. We have a double paired, so we are ahead of aces. And he has just ace jack 10. We are doing great. And we lose the hand. He picked up the not so many outer on the river. 68% pre-flop and we lost the hand, so kinda sucks. On the outside table we tried to bluff the river, but he insta-called with tops 2. So the end of the session isn't going very well. We have lost quite a lot of money in the last 15 minutes. So once again, I have no idea about the outcome of this PLO night. If we made any winnings or if we lost money, we can be down 200, and well, we are definitely up, not up 200, but who knows. And another bluff can run on the outside table. Guy who donk bets over 50% of the time donk bets me, I raise him, he calls. On the turn he makes a small donk bet, looks like a protection bet. I raise him, he calls, and on the river when the backdoor flush comes he shoves, and I just can't call. Sometimes it's kind of hard mentally when you're playing the game and nothing goes your way. Like now for the last 15 minutes or 20 minutes, every bluff has gone wrong except the one where we had the low rundown. But every other bluff, people have been making a slight call downs or forcing us to fold. And it happens sometimes. No matter what you do, you just keep on losing. And it can hurt your confidence to your game. You think that I'm losing all the time. Am I doing something wrong? But I want to play hands against this wreck guy, especially in position 200 pp's deep. We have a third player 200 pp deep, so I'm not in a hurry, so we can continue for a couple of minutes. See if we can build a big pot. And we hit the top pair and flush draw. Definitely c-bet against this guy. Check the turn and call the river if he bets. He checks, we bet. Thinking about bluffing the threat, but making a bluff against this type of player, it's probably not going to work. And thought about floating, but there aren't that many turn cards that he's going to fold. But of course, he's winning pretty much every time he goes to showdown, so not sure if I can make him fold if I give enough pressure. He's a pretty aggressive player. Too bad that we haven't hit the strong hands against him. Let's see what happens on the hand on table 1. Not sure what Smay can have here. I hope he calls so we can see what Shrek does. And he had pocket aces. Makes sense. Oh, a few more minutes. Let's see a couple of orbits if we can get a hand in here. Kind of shame that we can't hit the hand here, as this is a dream spot to make money in PLO. 200 pp's deep against an aggressive player that doesn't want to fold. Let's see if we can hit the pot or hit the flop this time. And we managed to win something. And on table 3 we value bet against Ivan Helsing. And river goes check check. We hit the nuts on table 1, which is interesting. SPR is over 20. Not going to happen often in PLO, but let's see what happens. Now we have the redraw to bigger straight, so if Shred spots us here, it would be a pretty interesting situation. Because we are so deep, if we want to get it in, he might have the same draw, same straight with the flush draw. But we have some outs to higher straight, so probably just get it in. And here on table 3 I'm going to bet the river. If he has like ace king, he might call me. Oh, he had ace 2. Wow. It pays off to call with hands like ace 3, 9 deuce. Sometimes you might win a pot. On table 1 I'm value betting against some 2 pairs, smaller straights. If someone raises me, I'm happy to fold. Do we have the straight on table 3? No, but we have a wrap. So I'm going to... Oh, what do we have here on table? Table 4, let's gamble. Hope our flush draw is alive, and it is, but we totally miss everything and we don't get the straight, so we lost. And Jack 9 3 5 wins the pot. Wow. We had 33 pre-flop on 4-way all-in, so we made a lot of EV bucks again, but we lost big amount of money. And on table 4, he probably has like overpair with the flush draw when he calls the turn. He's not going to fold pretty much anything that beats us. So we have to give the pot to him. And he had nothing on the flop, decided to check back and picked up something on the turn, and man, it's not going to go in the right way now, so I'm going to close the tables. Table 2 we 3-bet double paired hand, but the flop is completely missed. So we have to do, we can bet and hope he folds, but I don't think he's folding often to that flop. And here on table 3 we have another sick gamble. I have an ace in my hand. I think this guy often has aces, so I'm going to fold, and he had only kings. We would have had great equity, but nothing goes our way at the moment. So I think we lost like $200 on the last 15 minutes. Has been pretty sick. So it's time to close the session and see how much we spend up money today. bring up the outside tables. Oh, no action for the last hand. Here we might have a hand or two. So as we saw today, there's a lot of bad players on the tables. Like even this May guy, when he 3-bets and he totally misses the flop in position, board was 4-6-8. He should have c-betted because he didn't have anything. He didn't even have a lot of turns that can give him a lot of equity. So what happened in the previous hand, he actually had the pretty much only card in the deck that he can call. It was the king. He had king in his hand, which gave him the flush draw. So it's pretty much the only card that he can continue with. And it's just bad variance that we happen to have pretty much hit on the flop. And the turn improved our hand, so we got some money in, but sometimes there's variance that we can't win the flips, and there's variance that setups happen in the opposite way of favoring us. Like today, we have had a lot of hands that we have made some good decisions, but the outcome is bad. Like some setups and people hitting backdoor flushes, backdoor straights, or stuff. But at least we got to give green color to some of the players, so next time we have a PLO9, we know even more of these green players that are our friends. And it's pretty much the last hands. We have one hand on table 2, so I'm going to open up the poker tracker and see today's hands. What is the verdict? Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. It's not going to be pretty. Minus 265 at PLO50. We run $120 below EV, and these PLO100 losses came up from 3 hands. 2 times we 3-bet and c-bet the flop, and opponent has hit it, and then 1 bluff went wrong. So running over $100 below EV, nothing you can do about it. So here's the last half an hour. It's not that bad of a run with EV, but kaboom, $200 straight down. So previously we have been winning from the hand 1. Today we have been losing since hand 40 or something. So wasn't the best day, but wasn't the worst. Let's see what is our PLO100 graph. It's not pretty, 47 hands, and we have to get out. And on PLO50, it went pretty well until this is the hand where we had aces. After that, it's just some downhill and a lot under EV. Couldn't win any of the flips. But Hope to see you all on next Wednesday. And those who understand Finnish, we have PLO night day after tomorrow at Friday evening. Hope to see you there, and hope the games are better, but our run is better next Friday. This was quite a sad ending to a great session. But anyway, thanks for it. I'll update the results to the forum and see you on Friday and Wednesday. Now let's go and enjoy the Wednesday evening. Have a good night and sleep tight. Bye bye.